All right, take two. Welcome to the Mindfulness Broadcast, everyone. I'm really happy to see you here. It is the end of August, our last Mindfulness Broadcast in August, which means that as we roll into September, we have a new Mindful Masterclass happening. It's always the third Wednesday of the month. It gives us an opportunity to dive more fully into mindfulness. We choose a topic every month. You get this beautiful resource guide that goes with you this month, and this will kind of begin the focus on it. We're going to focus on the polyvagal nerves, so the vagus nerve and that system, which is really a key component. It's the main nerve system for our parasympathetic nervous system. And why that is important to us, if you have not heard that before or don't know about the PNS, that's the part of our system that when the sympathetic nervous system comes on, the part of our nervous system that goes, don't worry, we're here to help get your body and your brain ready for chaos and trauma and stress. And, we've got a whole system designed to help us with that. So we have a shortness of breath. We don't digest our food as well. We secrete neurotransmitters that get our bodies prepped for a stress response, which is really helpful if we are being chased by a rabid dog, right? But as a response to just the everyday stresses of life, it's a lot for our body to manage. And so we also have this part of our body, part of our nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system, which puts the brakes on the sympathetic nervous system. So we have the opportunity to engage in our body's response to stress and say, you know what, this is actually not a physical stress. This is not a stress to my survival. This is an email, or this is anxiety, or this is stress about something from the past, or shame about something, or I'm sorry, stress about something from the future, or shame about something from the past. And I don't need all of this response. I want to engage in a different way with this current reality, whatever it is. And so we can activate that in different ways, and our breath is one of the most powerful ways to do that. So in the master class, we're going to dive into understanding that system a little bit more, but I want learning some techniques and some guided meditations and some thought processes to help really be involved in how our body responds to stress. So it's going to have a natural way, it's going to have a learned way, and then there's going to be us going, and now I'd like to get involved. I want to be involved in this process because my current process doesn't seem to be working for me. So one of the greatest ways to do that is with our exhalations. So very often we kind of focus on that, and then that's an active response. We have to actively engage our diaphragm to take that big inhalation, but then a natural passive response to that is this exhalation, right? We're not active in that. We just let go of the active inhalation, and the body just exhales on its own. And so what we can do is get involved in that exhalation. So we can be purposeful in fully being present with it and extending it all the way out. And what tends to happen in our stress response, when our sympathetic nervous system is activated, we aren't letting go of our full exhalation. So some of it's staying in there. This kind of stagnant, stale air is staying in there. And it can also feed that anxiety feeling that we might have around stress or around something that is in the future, because we haven't let go of everything that is inside of our lungs. So there's that feeling of, I can't get a full breath. So there's a really wonderful practice called 4-7-8. And what we're doing in 4-7-8 is inhaling for the count of 4, we're holding it for the count of 7, and we're exhaling for the count of 8. We inhale through our nose, we exhale through pursed lips. So just slowly and fully. You can kind of imagine if you had a straw in your mouth and you were just blowing through that straw. And that actually has a physiological response for our body to help get the air out of there and keep our airways open. While that count isn't necessarily what's most important, what is most important is that that ratio of the inhalation is half the amount of the exhalation. So while I'll count you for a few of these, I'll be quiet after a while, and just know that if that feels, if you can't be present for that, holding it for 7 and exhaling for 8, just remember, okay, I'm going to try for 3 and then I'll exhale for 6, or 2 and 4, whatever you want to play with. Just allow that exhalation to be double the amount of the inhalation. And then what we know from research is we really don't need to do a lot of these. A, because we might pass out, and B, because it doesn't, our parasympathetic nervous system doesn't need a huge amount of energy from us. We just need to tap into it. We just need to remind it and tell it, hey, it's okay. So as a starting point, what is recommended is to do 4 rounds of this, just twice a day, and not in the same setting. So maybe right before a meeting, right before you go into work, right before you leave work, right as you pull into the driveway, get off the bus, whatever it is. Find these places, natural settings throughout your day to begin this practice. So let's go ahead and do it. You can close your eyes, or you can simply take a soft gaze, which means your eyes are open, but you're not actively looking at anything. And just locate your body. Notice it. If you're sitting, notice the sitting position, what your feet are doing, where you make contact with the floor, with the furniture. If you're standing, feel that balanced energy between your heels and your big toe and your pinky toe, or whatever version of that allows you to find balance. Invite a softening of the belly as we play with breath. We want to give that space in our body, plenty of room. As you're releasing that belly, also find some energy up the spine. Not a stiffness, not a rigidness, rather just an attentiveness, an energetic feeling. Imagine a string from the top of your head just pulling you upright. You might find that as you do that, your shoulders fall back and down into place. Your chest opens. As we practice breathing, we want to really create space for that, an open chest, relaxed belly. Our chin may be tucked just a little to allow even more openness in our throat. And then without shifting your breath at all, just notice that you're breathing. Breathe and know that you are breathing. Notice where it is, the pattern, the flow. No judgment, no shoulds. Just finding yourself completely in this moment. We're going to get into the 4-7-8 breathing pattern. We're going to go through it 4 times, and I will count you through the first, And then I'll just let you guide yourself through the following 3. You might find that your mind wanders or the activity just simply isn't working for you today. And don't push it. If that happens, just return to your normal breathing and just notice it. Just follow your breath. Another beautiful practice, if you decide to leave the one that we're doing, is to listen to your mind. What messages come up about you, about your practice, about your ability, about me, about mindfulness in general? Knowing that you're just observing the defense mechanisms, old messages, anything that arises as an opportunity to just observe and stay curious. And let's begin. Inhale through your nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale slowly through pursed lips, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And repeat on your own, 4, 7, 8. And as you finish, just return to your normal breathing pattern. And begin to observe your body, perhaps your emotional state, noticing if anything has shifted in just those few breaths. Staying in this place together for just a moment longer. And as we begin to close the practice, just reminding yourself that you are such a powerful being in your ability to respond to what is out of your control. So while we cannot control so many things, and so many of the things that stress us out, but we can control our response. We can be engaged in our response, I should say. I think it's a better way to say it. We have tools, and this breath is one of the most powerful tools we have. And it's always there, and it's always accessible. And slowly open our eyes or bring your gaze back together. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'll see you somewhere in cyber world.